What's up, guys? I'm going to start a new series for you, which is for my blind on-site reviews of games. So people send me a bunch of games. I'm going to try and get through as many of them as I can. And so I'm going to go through a game. I'm going to say how I read the board at my intermediate level, and maybe give some tips along the way, and just basically enjoy ourselves in relatively short videos. So welcome to Chess Shorts. Okay, let's get going. The first one has been sent in by PXM23 and rated 1039. Opponents rated is J Perot, rated 997, so around the 1000 mark. So we have E4, E5 and the King's Gambit. Alright, King's Gambit decline. This is the Queen's Knight defense. This is what I've been playing in the last week or so, and I've been facing the King's Gambit. I'm not really that familiar with it still. Okay, Bishop comes out, Knight comes out. So you can see both players are hesitant to take the pawn. Black doesn't want to give up his pawn centre, but also it doesn't massively make sense for White to take either and create this big gap down here. We have Knight F3, pawn comes out here. This is like a kind of a anti-fried liver, preventing the knight from coming in, and with bishop and knight targeting F7 makes some sense. Now we have the exchange. So see, now the knight's come out here. It's a second attacker on this pawn. So White takes, Black can't take because he just loses a knight, but he takes here. Now we have an interesting position. So, what will I be playing here? That's defended. Knight's not really attacking anything. I think D3 is very, very natural looking. Forces the knight back, and the knight can't go there or there. If here we've got two attackers, we can take, and then pawn must take. But that's not terrible. I think D3 looks very natural. Also, castles looks very natural as well. Getting the king to some safety. Yes, we've got a very open, like dark square diagonal there. I don't really fancy knight c3 at this point, so I think one of those two moves. Okay, we have castles, and bishop out with check. Yeah, it's a developing move, but you can see this h6 here has slightly weakened the king side. So Black's now getting ready to castle king side, potentially. Good castle, but h6 is a slight weakness. Is this a possibility? Takes. He just can't take because it's defended twice. Defended by queen and knight, yeah? Attacked twice. So I think d4. D8. Well done, PXM. Great minds like a think. Excellent. So the bishop retreats now to b6. So this is a very, very common move. It's not a bad square at all for the bishop. This pawn, remember, is now pinned. It's pinned itself by moving to d4. So I think c3, there's a case to be made for that. Also knight c3, and if you want to trade off, we capture towards the centre. Yes, we create an isolated a-pawn, but hey, not the end of the world. King h1 would seem a little bit timid to me. So what would I play here? What would I play? Bishop e3? Problem is the bishop there, it's undefended, so actually the pawn's still pinned, because bishop could take bishop. That doesn't really help. c3 looks alright. Let's see what he plays. He plays knight c3 and takes. So I mean, this is a position I'm very familiar with from the Vienna game. Nice bishop looking at f7. This bishop is now stuck on the wrong side of the fence, whereas this guy is super strong. I like this guy. This bishop could potentially come here, targeting there, but he's also looking at this pawn. There may be sacrifice ideas. Okay, and Black goes ahead and castles kingside. I think it's premature for this move. The bishop's pinning this pawn here. Could have ideas about bishop in there. Got 9 minutes 20 on the clock, so he's got time to think. I haven't got lots of time to think. I'm trying to assess this game in less time than it took them to play it. So what's not developed? Well, the queen and the bishop aren't developed. So, I mean, simply getting the bishop off the back rank, defending this pawn that's currently undefended, is not a bad move. So I think one of these two moves, probably. Okay, so he's done the move that I said was maybe timid, but you know, it has sense. It unpins this pawn, and now actually this pawn could even advance and start a central attack. So there is a point to it. Black plays d5. Or as Daniel Naroditsky would say, black plays d5. Black plays d5, because he says everything twice. Okay. Right, we do have an en passant option. Question is, how much do we like this pawn? En passant, queen takes, just engages the queen. I think bishop d3 here. Now that this h-pawn has moved, we can target that diagonal. Yeah, there you go. Bishop d3. Okay, bishop comes out to pin the knight. Right. Could be kicked, actually, because although we're weakening the dark squares here, look where the dark square bishop is shut out right now. He's on the wrong side. Okay, so queen breaks the pin. That makes loads of sense. Queen could come here now. Then if the bishop should ever bugger off, then we have bishop takes h6, and this pawn would be pinned by the queen and can't recapture. So black takes. So black has now just given up his only active bishop for a knight and engaging this rook in the game. Surely, yeah, rook takes. So now even rook g3 is an idea, queen g3 is an idea, bishop takes h6 is definitely part of the plan. Black plays a move to bring the queen off the back rank and connect the rooks at the very least. What would I do? This pawn's undefended, it has to be noted. This one currently is defended. We are coordinated on white side. We'd like to get the bishop off the back rank, but when the time is right, you see, you don't have to rush to get the bishop off the back rank. It's not like we can connect our rooks anyway, because we've lifted one of the rooks already. So I think a move like rook g3 makes sense here. But also remember, this bishop can play a vital role in the game from its starting place, right? Knights can't do that very, very, very rarely. Right? But a bishop can fly out with a sack or whatever, or even, you know, be part of a checkmating idea without having moved before in the game. I still like kind of queen g3. I think queen g3 here. Then you've got, then that sacrifice is on because the pawn's pinned, and then maybe rook a to f1. That's probably what I'd do. Oh, insta-sack. He's gone for insta-sack. Okay, pawn takes. Now what? Queen g3 check. Rook g3 check. Okay, so and look at how bad these pieces are here. So obviously queen blocks isn't on, so the king's going to have to move to h7 or h8. King goes h8. Right, queen's now targeting the h6 pawn. That would be checkmate. How can black stop that? Queen e6, I think, is the only option. She can't go here. Gets took. Can't go here. Gets took. Actually, this is an idea. Let's make it orange. That's an idea. That's an idea. That isn't. Okay, so she's got two moves. And maybe this one is the better one, for no other reason than it's lined up with the king. Okay, black chooses the other idea. Still perfectly good. See, I think I would have, if you just back up a little bit, before this sacrifice, I would have said, queen here first, rook across next, then sack. Because you get to sack for free then, because the pawn's pinned, it can't recapture. But so what you have to do is you have to say, look, is there a finish here? Can I actually win? Okay, queen there, and now. Oh, I like that. PXM, thank you very much. Okay, so after Queen E6, yeah, I remember, so he said to me when he sent the game over, this is the key move, and beautiful. That is a beautiful move. Deflecting the queen from the defense of this, so the queen can't go there, bishop takes, can't go there, pawn takes, can't stay, bishop takes, can't go there, pawn takes, right? So the queen has to abandon the defense of this. So here we have queen takes f5. Now queen takes h6 is not mate because queen blocks. Ah, queen blocks. Right, so how do we finish this off? Material is, white is well behind. White is actually down 4. So black has 2 extra minor pieces, although white has 7 pawns to 5, right? So white's up 2 pawns, but these minor pieces are fucking useless, absolutely rubbish. Okay, do we trade queens here? In general, when you're 4 points behind the material, no, just don't go trading shit off. You don't want to do that. Okay, we have a check. Now, if queen blocks, we have another check, forcing the king there. Again, like, can you see? You really want this guy involved in the game, and he ain't because he's still in the box. So yeah, queen blocks. Oh, of course. Yeah, it's the only move. Brilliant. Super. And that's just going to win. It's just going to... And now queen takes his mate, yeah? Rook why rook takes? Dude, this is checkmate. Having said that, I missed mate in one today, and there we go, checkmate. Beautiful game, very, very interesting, and that was a real stroke of genius. Now, what if the queen had done this instead? I think that's interesting, because then we don't have that option, but we do have this one. So how about that? And now we're X-raying through the queen with the rook. Queen got to move. She can't go there, she can't go there, she can't go there. If she goes here, then queen takes, and it's going to be all over in a couple of moves. Yeah, so I think that was probably the better move from black. I think that's what black missed, and finished with 7 minutes still on the clock. So there we go, and that's forced, and that is temporary. And there we go, his mate. Yeah, so I think that was black's big mistake, was playing this move instead of this one. And quite honestly, black had plenty of time to figure that one out. Although, you know, you are having to look a few moves ahead, but, you know, who would have anticipated this? Now, that was just really nice. So, PXM, thanks for sending the game over, mate. Very, very good game. Very interesting. And there you go. So there you go, Chess Shorts number 1. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you soon.